Alright guys, welcome on board to Football Yarn. And it's not the end of the road, but it seems like an end to a destination of Nigeria lifting the AFCON 2026. And we're knocked out, but not really out. This is AFCON edition Football Yarn, and I'm not doing this alone. Ayo is here, Lekon is here, as usual. Guys, Lekon gentle. Ayo too they look like. And I remember during the game I was chatting to him, like, hey, why? Waiting your could they see for this game? Say, we go be there. I love those Morocco boys. We go be there, don't worry. Of course, it ended in the game of luck. It's penalties, so they say. But I don't know if the guys share the same sentiment. On this note, I welcome you guys to Football Yarn. Ayo, how are you doing now? So good to have you on board.
Yeah, you know, it was a heartbreaking day for us Nigerians. You know, we hoped that we were going to get something out of the game, at least make it to the finals. After such disappointing outing at the qualifiers, this could have been the perfect competition to write the story of the superheroes. But you know, as they say, football, anything can happen. But it's just sad that we fell at the wrong side of it. But hopefully the players, the management, NFF, you know, everyone, you know, learned from this, because you know it's still a long road for us.
Lokowski, how you doing? You look gentle, man.
So yeah, are they ashamed? No, are they ashamed? You know, after all the stress, you know, to buy tickets and go Morocco, go account, embarrass me, disgrace me. You know, just sad. As I said earlier, it's sad and very heartbreaking that we could not go forward. We could not move past this level. You know, after all the, you know, the way they played, the way they showed that they can play. You know, and I've always been saying that I don't think Nigeria are competitors. They are competitors, because if they've not faced the people that the only people that they face is Algeria. I know that okay, Algeria is a competitor for them, but the rest are not that. And against Morocco is really hard to watch, because Nigeria, we are horrible. Yeah.
Alright guys, quickly let's talk about, you know, what happened in the game, and you know what we feel went wrong, what we feel like, you know, maybe if you can turn against, you know, the time, probably it should have been a different ball game entirely. I, for one, doesn't feel like there was anything wrong with our formation or with the starting lineup. Let me pick it up from Lekon. Lekon, do you share that? Probably, do you feel anything was wrong with the lineup? Let's start from that.
The lineup was okay. The lineup was cool. When I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, Nigeria, I mean, they meant business. So there's nothing wrong with the lineup. The lineup was lovely.
Why?
Yeah, of course you expect the same lineup, you know, what the lineup has been right from the first game, you know, the same backline, the same midfield, and the same attack, the same strikers, and of course, you know, the same shape. I felt it was a good lineup, you know. If it doesn't, they say if it is not broken, you don't fix it. But the problem I had with Eric Shaw and the management was that you know, we didn't have a plan B going to that game. When the Moroccans nullified our threats, because most of the time the crosses come from, you know, the fullbacks, Bruno Emechi and Bright Osai. They pinned us back. And by doing that, they have, you know, stifled Victor Osimhen. And it's also bad that, you know, Lookman and Iwobi didn't come to the party, which was understandable, because most of we don't play with wingers. Our fullbacks are also the defenders and also the wingers. But yesterday was a different ball game, and Eric Shaw in-game management was poor. I hate to say this. You know, we played into the Moroccans' hands. He could have tweaked something in that game. We played the same way right from the first minute to the 120 minutes. If not for the back line that came to the party, and of course Nwabali doing a very fantastic job, it could have been 3-0. It was so bad. I don't like the way Eric Shaw, you know, manage that game. It was abysmal. It was atrocious. We don't play that kind of game against the team, against the host country and against a very good team like Morocco. You have to have a plan B, a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C in going to that game. And to wrap up everything, I did not think for once that those players went into that game thinking that this game to go into penalties, and we had to practice. It was a replay of what happened in the game against DR Congo, where the game went to the penalties and we faltered. The same thing happened again yesterday. It was so bad. It was an eyesore for me.
All right, quickly, let's talk about something that changed in the lineup, different, from what we've always seen. I was expecting probably you guys would even analyze that.
Yeah.
Lekon, do you think we miss Wilfred Ndidi in that lineup? Or probably, the guy that stepped in for me, couldn't fill in Ndidi's shoe. And, a lot of fans has come out to talk about the fact that because Iwobi didn't add enough time to rove, so in the absence of Ndidi, do you share the same sentiments?
Unfortunately, we miss Ndidi. Yesterday, I know I've been clamoring for Oedika, for Eric to give Oedika, more game time. And yesterday, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was sad the way he was playing. He lost some crucial possession. When I was talking about that, he said they could have scored us 3-0. And he lost some crucial for his slow on decision making. Very, very sluggish. And, I know unfortunately we miss Ndidi. And, it will be yesterday. It will be tried. I won't lie to you. It will be his party. But unfortunately, we just missed, a piece, a puzzle piece. And that was Wilfred Ndidi. Yeah.
Did you think that was part of things that contributed to our performance yesterday?
Yeah, of course. Going to that game, you always need your best players. And of course, you need your captain to be on the pitch. But yesterday's game wasn't about personal. It was not about, us missing a player. It was about coaching. Because what the Moroccan coach did was, he already knew how we're going to play. If you watch our games against Algeria, that was a perfect example, if you saw our game against Algeria and against Tunisia, right? I think the Moroccan coach saw that game, watched it, analyzed the game. And, he knew that our creativity comes from the wings, which of course, mostly, Bright Osai and Bruno Emechi, because our strikers thrive on area balls, especially Victor Osimhen. And they knew that they put two players on Victor Osimhen, Nose Mazouari and, Massina. They put two players on him and they made sure that Hakimi and, Nose Mazouari again pinned, our fullbacks back. And don't forget, Brahim Diaz, even though he wasn't so convincing in attack yesterday, because Bruno Emechi did a fantastic job on Brahim Diaz. But what Brahim Diaz also did was pin back Bruno Emechi. And also Ezazui, I don't know if you know this guy from Betis, also pinned back Bright Osai. They didn't do much in attack, but what they did in attack was they had to pin back those players. So creativity doesn't come from them. That is why I said Lukman and Orobi could have done a better job yesterday. They were hiding. And what did our coach do? He maintained the same plan A. Change this thing. I was clamoring for the coach to at least tweak something. We can't go on playing like this. I've never been confident in us going into penalties, because every time we went to the penalties, we mostly lose. And I don't think Eric Shaw put that into account in that game. It was atrocious. I mean, I don't know the better word to qualify that, but it was atrocious. Iwobi, Ndidi was greatly missed, no doubt. But in that game, it wasn't about Ndidi or it wasn't about Osimhen. Ndidi was not the reason why we lost that game. We didn't do enough to win that game. We didn't do enough. And Eric Shaw should learn from this if he remains the Super Eagles coach. And I think that is left to be seen.
All right. Lekon, quickly, let's talk about, we've talked about Ndidi absence. how much more it contributed to, our performance yesterday. And how about we talk about Osimhen performance yesterday? Although many has not come to, we're going to talk about what comes as if it was good and what comes as if it was bad. Yesterday it was Juan Bali and Calvin Bass issue.
Yeah.
And in the absence of Osimhen and the attack line's performance.
Yes.
I mean,
no.
Should we give credit to the Moroccans defense? Same way we're giving credit to Calvin Bass.
I think we should give credit to them. I think as at a point it was like like every time we go to their box, if you have ball like this, if you have in possession of the ball, four of their players attack us, So, I think we should give credit to them, But I feel like for me personally, I would say Osimhen, Osimhen really tried yesterday, even though they didn't supply him at the attacking this thing. He was defending. Some of the he was doing defending. They didn't supply him, and the only person I want to blame yesterday was even though I still saw Adams. The only person I want to blame that I didn't say at all was Lookman. Lookman. He wasn't in the game at all. He wasn't in the game. Even for you to know that he wasn't in the game, he was playing some the set pieces that
those set pieces were bad.
Were poor.
They were poor. Every time we had a corner, right? Because we had the first corner very late.
Yes.
I think the Moroccans had played about 4-5 corners before we played our first one.
Yes.
The first corner was atrocious. I almost lost my head. Look, man, what are you doing? What is this corner kick? I mean, this is we actually saved the worst for the last. If these guys had played like this right from the first game, we wouldn't have put our mind to this competition. We would have said, okay, you guys scored about 14 goals in this tournament already. You don't go into, and that's the most important game. And in as much we had played well before that game, scored a lot of goals. Morocco was the perfect opponent. That was the proper opponent in this competition. And when push came to shove, we lost.
To be the reason why I said when I came into the studio, I could not say anything. I was just quiet, just looking at, the reason why was in this game, we are known to be dangerous. We are known to be in the front foot. Our attack is not merciful, to anybody. So yesterday, they played their game yesterday, and it's like there's no identity. Nigeria is known to be dangerous, but yesterday there was no identity. There was nothing. They didn't even come to the party. I don't even know the game plan. Maybe the game plan was to defend or to save the pressure. I don't know.
Let me quickly. Did you feel probably we did not have ambition, or did you feel probably we allowed the game to drift into extra time, and that means that probably we respected the Moroccan side too much?
No, I didn't think we respected them. I didn't think so. If you respect them, they would have scored. In the game, in the normal game. I think we want to. I don't know that. As I was saying, I don't know that game plan. But yesterday, there's one thing that I know that is for sure, that is very known to everybody, is that Morocco yesterday, they want history. They want their name to be written in history. Yes, yesterday Nigeria, they're just happy to be there. They're just happy to be in the semi-final. I feel like that's different. That's the difference in that game yesterday. If you see the Morocco, they are playing like they want to die on that field. They are playing like.
Let us come to another sentiment in this game. AY was giving me this angle about it. Do you think if Morocco were in the host, would this approach has worked? Would they have gathered this momentum? Because there were talks about Moroccan fans all over the field. Because our players looked as if at times they were scary, or probably they were just in ace to make decision on the pitch.
Toby, if the Moroccan were not the host nation, I feel like yesterday
Imagine us playing this game in Abuja yesterday.
I feel like yesterday. No,
in Lagos.
not like even on neutral ground. I feel like we win. If you watch that game yesterday, I was even ashamed. I was even embarrassed of the calf. Why? What? You can see the official team. This is obvious that his own advantage. Very, very obvious. The guy was just giving red yellow card, giving this thing. What are you doing?
There was just only one yellow card in the game.
Is it two now?
I mean, I'm talking about our players.
Two.
The card.
It's two yellow card they gave us. The man was just blowing.
But deserved yellow card. Even Ezazuli should have gotten a yellow card yesterday for dissent. But I don't know how he escaped that. There was a time we were every 50 call went in favor of Morocco
side.
Which of course it is understandable. They are the home side. I understand there is home advantage. But I mean the bias was so obvious that Bassi was carded for being fouled by Brahim Diaz.
All the ball, all the
every 50 ball was
given to Morocco side.
Everything was
there was a chance for us to that we had at their box. No, and I don't know. The
officiating was
bad. The officiating was bad.
So quickly, let's talk about what took us out of the competition, which is the penalty. But before we go to the penalty, how about the substitution? Lekon, what was your take on the Eric substitution in the game? Do you feel probably they were necessary? I, for one, felt probably should have just allowed Siemens to just maybe stay, to play our penalty because it's going to be a big booster. Same way Hakimi was a big booster for the Moroccan side when they were playing the penalty.
I think all this go back to experience. In that kind of a big game, when you have a coach that have experience, that I've done that before, that have that capacity of reading the game, you will not have subbed off Osimhen. I feel like yesterday the substitution were horrible. Horrible, wrong timing, and if you want to do substitution of Chukwueze, you want to bring all of them in, you could have done that earlier. If you want to sub off, even if you want to sub off Osimhen, you could have done that earlier. So why leave him for almost 170 minutes and subbed him off? You could have allowed him to play the penalty. And I feel like his decision yesterday was what got us out of the AFCON and the AFCON final.
All right. Talking about indecision, so someone has come out to talk about the fact that penalties didn't beat Nigeria, indecision did. Can we accumulate these indecisions to the moments where we had those substitutions as well?
No, that's a lie. People say that if the referee was fair, you probably would have won. It's a lie. We didn't do enough to win that game. Let's be honest. We kept doing the same thing right from the first minute till 120 minutes. There was not a time that Eric Shell altered anything. He kept to the same structure, the same formation, the same approach. If after a while, with a little bit changed when Moses Simon was brought in, he gave Bruno Imici a little bit of space to cross in the ball, but it was later in the game. The players were already tired. He could have done that earlier. It was so bad, honestly. I don't want to put everything on the ref. We ourselves didn't do enough to win that game.
So talking about indecisions as well, just like Lekon said. How about the angle of the list of players that played the penalty? Talking about that. Two players that were just something, Paul Nacho, Eze, and Dili Bashiru.
Yeah.
Some fans quite feel that, imagine if we had the likes of Iwobi, Osimhen, Calvin Bassey, Lookman, playing this penalty, it would have been, a different ball game entirely. And some have come to talk about the fact that, immediately Morocco lose the penalty. Had been we scored the next penalty. We would have been in different ball game. I don't know if you guys shared, the sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely. After the Moroccan player lost the penalty, we lost ours afterwards, It put pressure on our players because when the Moroccan player lost it, the pressure was on them. When we lost ours, the pressure shifted from them to us. And I knew right after Chukwueze lost, we're going to lose that game because you could see panic in the eyes of the Nigerian players, the body language, and Chukwueze going to that penalty was flat-footed. I don't think he ever thought this game was a crucial game. You could see from his attitude,
body language.
I don't want to read too much into the gum chewing, but there has to be some seriousness in these things. This game, Nigerians depend a lot on these games because we are not going to the World Cup. This is our only hope to hold on to something. We are not going to play a competitive game till I think August or thereabout. This is bad. These players have to understand that there is a lot at stake. We don't go into these games with so much unseriousness. This is a penalty. I know people will say, okay, yeah, anybody can lose a penalty. That's not the problem. Losing a penalty is not the problem. Attitude is very important.
Quickly, let me come to you quickly. I was talking with someone, immediately after the game yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that if this had been, Hakimi as well, that lost the penalty, people would have come for it. Do you think fans are just being, overreacting to Chukwueze losing this penalty? Anyone else could have lost this penalty, or there is more to it about the player himself in particular?
If you watch his body language, his attitude, chewing gum like say I ain't giving money to buy tickets to go Morocco. His body language, stretching, he was nonchalant. For that game, you have to show that, you have to show us attitude. Give us attitude that okay, when the Morocco side lost their penalty, you could see how terrible the guy felt, how as he even played it very well. You could see how terrible. So me yesterday, I was very, very angry. I was very, very angry with him with the way he performed, with the way he played the penalty. Even my cousin, I was telling my auntie yesterday when I called her. I was saying my cousin of 8 years old can play penalty. More than Chukwueze. What is he doing? What is he doing? So yesterday was I blame Eric Chell. I feel like his decision throughout that game, the penalty was wrong. You subbed off Osimhen, subbed off everybody that could have played the penalty. Okay, what you will say is that okay, maybe their leg side. This is that I subbed them off. But that's like you could have okay. What I was saying the other time, you could have brought in Iwobi to play this thing. Brought in Lookman knows how to play penalty very well. Yeah, Iwobi too. But you bring this guy in. You are giving Chukwueze that has a turkey leg to play penalty, and we lost it. It was very terrible, man.
All right, quickly, we're still on the Nigerian game. I mean, we still have about quite some minutes to still talk about this. About like 6 minutes. So many talking points, Ayo. So many talking points. Now, my big question is this: where do we go from here?
Yeah. First of all, there has to be a plan. We can't repeat the same mistakes. We've been repeating for the past years. There has to be some sort of stability in that team. Is NFF going to stick with Eric Shaw? It remains to be seen. But if the NFF is not going to stick with Eric Shaw, the decision has to be made now. We can't afford. There has to be a plan going into next qualifiers. We have to be at the next World Cup. There has to be some sort of. We can't afford to go from Eric Shaw now. Go back to Finidi, then to Eguavon, then to God knows who. There has to be a clear plan. There has to be a structure. There has to be players have to come. I mean, we have to. Some players have to be monitored. Because we need quality players. You look at our bench yesterday, we lacked quality. Don't let us lie to ourselves. We lacked quality on that bench. But away from all of that, there has to be a structure because when the plan is in place, all those things will come in naturally. There has to be a structure going to the next qualifiers because I mean, just imagine the scenario of Nigeria missing 3 World Cups in a row. It is well. I think we're already getting used to it. Anyways,
all right. Let's come quickly. We're still on episode. Where do we go from now? How important do you think the third place match is? Because I, for one, at first, after we lose after we lose out to Morocco by true penalty, I just said to myself, I'm not even watching the third place match. It's because this is rubbish. But now, let us come back to it, because it's going to be something. I was talking about something to hold on, and I felt it's quite going to be, one of the things to hold on to. I mean, take it or leave it. When push comes to shoves, it's still going to be one of the bragging rights that even when we got to the third place. So how do you see this third place match?
I'm not interested. There you are, Toby. I'm not interested. Third place, fourth place, I'm not interested. You can, when we talk about history, we only say the first people that achieve that history. We don't say the third, the second, the fourth. No, I'm not interested. And I was saying some the other time that we are familiar with this scenario, because when it gets to that big stage, they always fumble. They always crumble, and it's not new. And yesterday, before the game, I was talking to my uncle. I was like, "Hey, are you sure we are going to win?" He was like, "Hey, Eko, be optimistic. We are winning. Because it's like a psychology, like it's something that we like.
Eko, how would you feel if we lose the third match to Egypt?
As I said earlier, I'm not interested.
You feel indifferent.
I'm indifferent. If we lose, we lose. If we win.
This is what happens. This is what we see as our golden generation. In the squad where we have 2 AFCON winners, players doing well in the league, and still.
You mean African best players.
African best players, and at the end of the day, still we can't even win. I mean, we don't even win anything. Shibor we don't win. What happened? What did we do wrong? Is it that this generation are just unlucky? Looking by the fact that we didn't get to the World Cup by penalty, we didn't get to the Nations Cup final by penalty, we got to a final against Cote d'Ivoire. Something just messed up that minute. We lost it. I mean, is it that probably they were not bad if we're going to maybe we're going to track back history?
Toby,
maybe it was just a case of maybe just a little bit of luck.
Toby, in as much you want to go out on the players, I don't think it will be fair. It will be fair on them. This is totality of so many factors. You are from the management to the head of sports to everyone involved, then down to the players. Because at the end of the day, the result of these things will obviously come from the players, right? It is down to planning. It is down to structure. Because, when the structure is in place, when the plan is right, the results will definitely come out. Morocco they've been building this thing for a very long time. They didn't just wake up one day and be like, okay, we are here. The plan has been in place. We always knew that one day Morocco would be, if not win it, but will be in the finals. And here we are. There's always the plan in place. It felt like we were watching a World Cup match. Look at the state of the pitch. Look at the state of the stadium. Look at the crowd. Look at the media. Look at everything that we saw yesterday. It was, everything was so colorful. Everything was so beautiful. It felt like we were watching a proper Premier League game. That is planning. That is structure. That is foresight. That is what we lack in Nigeria. That is what obviously what the NFF lack. There has to be a structure. And when these players have the right environment, you can't tell me these players are bad. You can't tell me a nation that has produced 2 AFCON, I beg your pardon, 2 CAF best players in 5 years are suddenly bad. You can't tell me a nation that was in the final in the last edition of the AFCON is bad. That's the total lie. Kudos to the player, because kudos to the players, I beg your pardon, because they are doing a lot from in an environment that is against them. I want to give kudos to them, but at the same time, of course, it's an environment that is bad. But then there has to be a structure in place, and if the structure is not right, if the plan is not right, then the players are set up to fail.
Toby, this is not about structure. This is not about planning. This is not about seeing the future. This is about present. This is about the moment. What are you doing? You said something about something that the players, the structure, the infrastructure, they don't have infrastructure. Most of these players are playing in Europe. So when you they should be familiar with the pitch, familiar with everything that they are doing there. So most of these players are playing in Europe. So I don't see when you talk about them 2013, them all those Odin Super Eagles. All these people, they're even enjoying, more enjoying than the rest of them. I feel like what we lack in this generation, in this golden generation that we call it, is mentality. And I would say that all the youth in Nigeria, my mentality is low. You just want to survive. You want to survive. We don't want to win. We want to be there. But we can't win. We can't see it. So forget about the planning, forget about the structure. These are people, their mentality is low. Yeah, it's low. The last AFCON, I told you, when we always get there, we fumble. Every time we fumble. So I was not surprised today. I even wait before I went to watch the ball. Because I know that I'll cry and come. I'll cry and come back. I was not ashamed. I was not put ashamed. Because I can't come back.
All right, quickly. It's what Lekon have said now. Lekon, do you think? Let's talk about progress or plateau. I mean, is this team moving forward or just standing still?
You're regressing. Am I regressing? Oh no, nothing is going forward. Nothing is going forward. It's regressing.
I would like to quickly come to you. Let's talk about something. Expectation versus reality. When we played the first match in the group stage, I guess that was what bumped up our expectation. Before we went in for this AFCON, I'm very sure if we are going to have an expectation check, it shouldn't be as much as when we played our first match, our second match.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think fans are overreacting solidly because it feels that their expectations were not met? Because probably the fans' expectation was for us to go all out to the final to win it.
No, the fans are not overreacting. I think one thing about Nigerians is that we've endured so many atrocious performances from the Super Eagles and from the NFF, from everyone involved. Because you can't tell me a nation of over 250 million people can't qualify for back-to-back World Cups. As in the last time they made it to the final of the AFCON, they lost. This time lost on penalties. You know the truth, right? That's why I said something the other time. I said the Super Eagles saved the worst for the last. The way we approached the first game, we won convincingly, set up the tone. You can't play like that and, play like that in the first game, second game, the third game, and the fourth game, then go on to give us that atrocious, that abysmal, that embarrassing performance against the host. That it's quite evident that going into that game, there was no plan, there was no contingency plan. What if this planet goes wrong? What are we doing? It shows that going to that game, whoever is in charge didn't have a plan B. So saying we are overreacting is unfair to Nigerians because we've endured so many embarrassing moments. We've not qualified for this. Could have, like I said, this could have been a perfect time to rewrite their stories. Trust me, if we go on to tap, if we went into the final and go on to win it, nobody will remember why we didn't qualify for the World Cup. Everybody will still be celebrating. But here we are. This is the reality. We are a terrible team. Let's call it spade a spade. We are a terrible team. And I hope something is done. Because if not, bro, welcome to hell.
The Super Eagles, they will play very well. They will give you expectation. When it matters the most, they will crumble. So what kind of expectation is that? What kind of future is that? I don't want to put my future on lies. They are liar.
All right, guys. We won't talk about these, and let's quickly subdue things because it looks as if now the agenda is agenda for West Africa. I mean, agenda for it's not
North Africa. North versus West.
North versus West. Now, going into this final, I mean, before we had the Nigerian game, there was a game between Egypt and Senegal, but I know emotions is still all over the place. You know, there's this place of patriotism still in everyone's blood and mind. So probably because of that, you know, we might not even have really get and you know, from what we talked about in our last episode, it was expected that it was all going to be a win for it was looking all like a win that Senegal would just get the results. We saw it coming. Senegal getting the results. I mean, are they doing anything special that we are not doing?
I mean, performances is the honest truth. You can't the way Senegal have approached this tournament and the way they've been over the years, you know, is quite evident of how well they've planned, how well structured, you know, their national team is, and how well and the foresight and the ambition of the, you know, of the national team. I saw the way they've been playing, and look, if you compare the matches Senegal have played to us, even though we scored more, they've played better opponents than us. And they've not scored so many goals, but at the same time, they don't concede many. And they've turned up when it matters most. That game against Egypt, they were the better team from start to finish. Egypt got a little few chances after Senegal scored the goal, you know. After they scored, they went on to defend. You know, you have to at least secure your lead. That is exactly what Senegal did. Senegal are a better team than us. And I mean, it's quite evident in the FIFA ranking. Even though I don't read too much into that, but at the same time, that is the truth. They are a better team than us. They are a well-structured team than us. I can't imagine, you know, a Senegal missing back-to-back World Cups. I actually cannot imagine that. And that is the state of the Nigerian football, you know, football setting. It's quite sad.
Quickly, let's talk about Sadio Mane. I mean, it's more like he's saddled with the responsibility to carry on the team.
Yeah.
And we saw him coming, you know, on the big stage. I mean, how much of credit do we have to give to Sadio Mane?
Yeah, that's what they call Sadio Mane. Is our household name, you know, and I know, you know, when you know you have responsibility and you take responsibility, you put your responsibility, you know that, okay, this responsibility that they are giving me, this thing, I'm accountable for it. I'm accountable for everybody. You know, when you watch Sadio Mane, you know, is a very incredible person and a player. You know, even he is missed as Anasa, you know. I think since he has gone down, they've lost 3 matches consecutively and they drew 1, you know. So wherever he goes, he carries threats. He's a threat. He's a you know, you don't ever want to face him. Unfortunately. But yeah, Sadio Mane, you know, he's doing very well. You know, if I stay here and I can just keep giving him, you know, a precise accolades, you know.
Anyway, let's quickly talk about not Mane this time around. We're going to talk about Liverpool Mo Salah, the one you guys have always advocated for. Maybe it's just the end time for Baba to just look at of this footballing career, or maybe we should just go and make the money. The form, I mean, have you got question mark as regard Mo Salah in this AFCON?
Absolutely not. And I think what Salah hasn't enjoyed with Egyptian side and what the legends of Egypt have enjoyed is, you know, the quality of players is played with. Something that we knew the Egyptians to have was quality all around the pitch. And for the past a decade, Egypt have lacked that. You could see if you look at the Egyptian team, you could hardly name a player that could go in and make the difference. When you remove Salah, when you remove Mamouche, even Mamouche just got into the team not too long. It has always been Salah, and sometimes Trezeguet. But Trezeguet has not been the player, you know, of yesteryears. So that has been the story. I think it should still stay on. There's still time to win it. You just never know. It is football. You have about 6 games to win the AFCON. His time has still come. He's old. He's 33, but you just never know. There's still an AFCON coming. So there's still a chance to win it. I don't think he should retire yet in the national team. No.
But I feel like his time is coming to an end. When you go Saudi, you go make money. Now I brought that. Now wait till I go tell me that. Now I go Saudi, go make money. Go carry money come for our family. Again, I wait. No. You see Ronaldo. You see waiting they call it. You know waiting they play. Go collect there. They play pass Ronaldo. Go collect money come. I'm done with that.
Alright guys, that's going to be our package for Football Yarn episode 2025. Before I ask the guy for their parting shots, guys, any parting shots? Maybe they move. Nigeria don't lose that.
Move, they move. Now Morocco go.
Alright, quickly before we leave, let me quickly get our predictions. Anyway, let's start with Nigeria versus Egypt. What are your predictions?
Even though I am indifferent with the third place, I don't care. Because
Papa, just give us the prediction.
Nigeria 2-1.
Alright. What about the final?
The final, hopefully, I just hope, because I'm going to that game with proper 8 watch. I want Morocco to suffer. Senegal 1-0.
Yeah. Lekon, your predictions, nothing more, just your predictions.
Nigeria don't consign me.
Alright.
Morocco 1-0. Morocco go win.
Alright. I'll go with Senegal 2-0 as well. Alright guys, emotions at play. It is what it is.
I'm just trying to keep everything professional right here.
I for the shout.
I'm losing my head.
You know, so as I the shout,
I'm losing my head.
No, I don't shout. I don't mind.
As the curtain falls on the semis, I mean, all that is left, just as we've talked about, is that what next for the Nigerian football and for the Super Eagles. I mean, it's going to be up to like maybe to November before we see the Nigerian Super Eagles in action again. It has, we've learned our lessons, no excuse. I mean, Morocco have moved on to the final. Senegal arrived with experience, no fear. And let's talk about that. The fact that this tournament has taught to us that maybe courage and indecision can cost, so much. From Rabat to the rest of Africa, Sunday will give us answer to who got the prediction right.
You don't start the talk shoot like this.
Alright guys, this has been Football Yarn. If you enjoyed the debate, please don't forget to share it, run the clips, argue with us. Just don't be quiet. I mean, that's our package, and we'll see you after the final. Now football with the yarn, we know the what?
We know the needs.